What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the GTA Mania channel. Today, a Rockstar Games employee has just shared some details on what it's actually like working on GTA 6. And we're going to be breaking down all of these new leaks and information revealed by this Rockstar employee and dev in today's video. So this actually comes from a website known as Glassdoor, which for those of you guys unaware is essentially a company review platform that's very similar to how you'd look up a restaurant review online before visiting, checking the ratings, the pros, the cons, what's worth ordering and what isn't. The key thing here is that reviews are posted anonymously on Glassdoor, but they still have to be verified before going live. So keep that in mind and take it with a grain of salt, obviously, but it was verified. And this particular review was actually posted on May 1st, 2026, so a few days ago, and it came with a 2-star rating for Rockstar Games. The headline goes on and reads, saying exciting projects but unrealistic workload and expectations. The reviewer is a QA analyst who works at Rockstar and is currently employed at the Bangalore location. So again, all of this was verified by Glassdoor. The person's name and details are obviously anonymous. If it wasn't, I don't think Rockstar devs would be posting any of this intel to begin with, because the game is still in active development, so they don't want their name revealed and getting linked to any possible leaks or information that came out with their name attached. They checked off recommendations, CEO approval, and positive business outlook. For the pros, they listed free food, some room for growth, even if it's limited, and the opportunity to work on what is arguably the most anticipated entertainment project on the planet, which is obviously Grand Theft Auto 6. And I think we can all agree that GTA 6 is definitely one of the most anticipated projects and will probably be the largest video game launch we've ever seen in history. The cons are where it gets heavy. The employees are expected to work overtime without any extra compensation, which I'm pretty sure is illegal, so I don't really know how Rockstar gets away with this to begin with. The work schedule has been brutal since last month. Some colleagues had to work until 3 in the morning after already completing a full 12-hour shift earlier that same day. They're being pushed to wrap up tasks that would normally require 5 to 6 months of time in just 2 to 3 months. So Rockstar seems to be pushing their employees to the absolute limits. They are obviously scared of missing their new November 19th deadline, and this review and this post on Glassdoor essentially confirms that all of these employees are getting pushed to their absolute limits in terms of how much they're working, their overtime compensation, and just what they're able to do physically. And if you raise concerns with your department head, it apparently goes nowhere. As a piece of advice to management, the reviewer writes that they enjoyed working there previously, but the past few weeks have taken a real toll on their mental health. And they're asking leadership to be more considerate, because at the end of the day, they're still human beings. In my opinion, that's a pretty striking review of Rockstar Games, and this is coming specifically from their studio in Rockstar, India. So going back to the pros, free food, limited growth opportunities, and the chance to put your name on the world's most anticipated video game release. But the cons are really painting a picture of what the crunch time culture actually looks like when you're in the final stretch of developing one of these massive AAA titles. Unfortunately, this isn't new territory for Rockstar. They've dealt with crunch time controversies before and have actually faced scrutiny in the past over working conditions, particularly in the months leading up to a new title's release. Now, assuming this review is legitimate, the details in those cons are pretty telling. Rockstar appears to be pushing extremely hard right now, and if anything, this actually makes a delay seem less likely, not more likely, which obviously is great news for all of us, because I don't think any of us want any more delays since we've already been delayed for over a year now. When a studio is compressing timelines that aggressively and demanding that level of output, it usually means they're in the home stretch and trying to hit a specific target. Obviously, nobody wants to see employees suffering through poor working conditions, but the pressure being described does seem to line up with a team that's racing towards a finish line. One thing worth calling out specifically is working overtime without pay. That is completely unacceptable in my opinion. I think regardless of the industry or what country you're working in, that should be illegal, and I'm not entirely sure how situations like that even exist without someone stepping in, but it certainly doesn't seem right. What it does seem like, though, is that Rockstar is doing everything they can to get this game out the door in November. Now, one thing is also worth noting is that in this studio in India, some context that we described as crunch time in a Western office setting can sometimes just be considered a standing work environment in other parts of the world. India generally doesn't have the same work-life balance culture that you'd find in places like North America or Europe, but then again, if that were simply the norm, the employee probably wouldn't be writing a public review expressing how much it's affecting their mental health. So honestly, it's a complicated picture. Let me know what you all think down in the comments below. Obviously, it depends on how you view this story, and of course, how legitimate this review on Glassdoor actually is. But again, they do have to get verified, so a lot of this information is probably very correct. Now, the journalist who has historically been the most plugged in when it comes to Rockstar Games and crunch time coverage is Jason Schreier. The last relevant update he shared on the topic was around the time of GTA 6's previous delay. He posted on social media saying that skepticism is always fair, but that he'd been following Rockstar closely for years, going back to his major 2018 piece that he did on Red Dead Redemption 2's crunch time back when they were trying to get that game out on their planned timeline. He noted that while overtime hasn't been eliminated entirely, everyone he's spoken to at the company describes the current environment as night and day compared to past projects, and that he'd report on it if anything changed. Since then, Jason hasn't provided any further updates, so that remains his most recent and most specific statement on the matter. As always, let us know your comments down in the comment section below, because I'm curious what you guys think about this. So what do you make of this employee's review and what it says about the current state of development on GTA 6? I genuinely want to hear from all of you down in the comments. Now also, on the topic of Rockstar's workforce and what's happening behind the scenes, a new LinkedIn job listing from Rockstar Games has caught some attention. This position is for a temporary production artist based out of their New York studio, and a lot of people are reading this as a potential signal that a global marketing push could be starting soon and on the horizon. The listing went up recently and it's open to a wide range of applicants. It's a temporary role, not a permanent hire, and the responsibilities listed include working on marketing campaigns and producing art assets across all social media and print channels for GTA. That description lines up pretty closely with what you would expect from a team preparing to launch promotional material for a video game of this scale. And we already know that GTA 6 is targeting the November 19th, 2026 release date, and Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick has also already confirmed that the launch marketing campaign will be kicking off later this summer. That kind of rollout would naturally involve a wide range of assets. Think billboards, posters, physical game box arts, TV spots and stadium ads, transit advertisements, literally every type of ad possible they are going to be using for GTA 6 since their budget is probably huge. All of that needs to be produced, coordinated, and distributed, and it sounds like Rockstar may be building out the team to handle that workload. To be clear, the job listing itself makes no direct mention of GTA 6, and it's very possible that the core marketing materials are already finished. This could simply be a case of a department that needs extra capacity to manage everything that comes with launching the biggest game in history. Still, the timing is hard to ignore. As we get closer to that summer marketing window, moves like this start to carry a little bit more weight. Either way, it's an encouraging sign that things are moving in the right direction. It'll also be really interesting to see how Rockstar approaches the actual marketing of GTA 6 and whether they do anything unconventional or creative with it. The last time they had to market a major title was all the way back in 2018 for the release of Red Dead Redemption 2, and the world looks very different now in terms of how people consume media and how advertising actually works. Personally, I think a Sphere Las Vegas takeover would be absolutely incredible. Whatever kind of artwork or visual Rockstar would put up on the massive Sphere would definitely be something special and catch people's attention. There have already been some genuinely stunning displays on that venue, and seeing Rockstar's creative team get their hands on it would be something really cool. That's just one idea, but I'm really curious to see what direction they will go in terms of overall marketing. So with all of this happening behind the scenes at Rockstar, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I'd love to know your thoughts, and make sure you guys drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new, and turn notifications on so you don't miss our daily videos covering everything you guys need to know revolving GTA 6. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy, my friends.